Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to day 13 of the 30 Days of Transformations. Sorry, I'm hoping my dog isn't going to start making noise. He looks like he wants to. Today our topic is finding what brings you happiness. And really realizing that things and activities don't bring real long-lasting happiness. Now, first of all, if you don't know what the 30 Days of Transformations is, this is where I'm jumping on live for 30 days and talking about a transformation I have gone through. And every single day I'm giving you guys a task, a little homework assignment, if you will, to help you create the same transformation for yourself. Okay, so this is a really important one for me because this is something I see all the time. And I did this for years as well. I mean, so many people who really hate their bodies or in a really deep place of dislike, they really don't like themselves, right? Quite often, and this is not something we talk about all the time, but hating yourself and hating your body really go hand in hand a lot of the time, right? When we're talking about body love, we're also talking about self-love. Those two kind of go together. It's rare that you are going to be 100% in love with yourself and hate your body. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's not that likely, okay? When we hate our bodies, quite often we're really unhappy in general in life, and we look for stuff to make us happy. And that looks different for everybody, but for many it is, women especially, right? It's shopping, it's buying new clothes, it's getting your nails done, it's having the pretty things, the shiny things. It can be splurging on a fancy coffee every day. It can be vacations and trips. It can be a new car. It can be kind of whatever. But quite often we look for happiness in these things because for a short period of time, they do bring happiness. You get a rush. There's like a buzz, right? When you're on vacation, of course you're enjoying your vacation. But the thing that you have to remember, like, you're still you at the end of the day. You've got to come back to yourself. And I speak from experience, okay? This was me in a lot of my 20s, okay? Like for years and years and years, this was me. I did everything I possibly could to avoid dealing with my body image. I did everything I possibly could to avoid dealing with how I felt about myself. So I went out. Instead of turning in towards myself, I turned out and I avoided. And I bought stuff and I had shiny new things and I took vacations. Don't get me wrong, I love traveling and I still do and I always will. But you have to recognize that it's not going to create everlasting happiness if you're not happy with who you are or what you are or what you look like, right? That's still going to be there. These purchases, like I said, they result in temporary happiness, but it really is temporary, right? Like, have you ever found yourself buying something or doing something and you get really excited about it, and then you come home at the end of the day and you're like, oh shit, I'm still me. I'm still here and I still have to be with myself in my skin, right? That's really where this comes down to. So those things are not the things that are bringing you that happiness, that real, true, like deep down in your core life satisfaction. You cannot run from your problems. Please trust me on this. I've literally moved around the world. I'm Canadian. I grew up in Canada. I lived there for most of my life. And then a few years ago, I started traveling, fell in love with Australia, moved here. But I had this false sense of like, you know, you always hear people say like, I started fresh and I was starting over and it turned over a new leaf. And in many ways, when you move, whether it's just across a city or a new state or province or a new country or around the world, in many ways that does happen, right? You do meet new friends. You do get to kind of be whoever you want to be, and you can introduce yourself, and those people don't have any preconceived notion of who you are. But you still know who you are. You cannot run from yourself. You cannot run from your unhappiness. You cannot run from hating your body. Okay? So again, whether you are running by shopping, whether you are running by buying vacations, whether you're running doing any of those things, none of it is going to result in real happiness, because you are still in here. Doesn't matter where in the planet you are. You cannot run away from yourself forever. By creating a peaceful relationship with yourself, by kind of getting on the same page with yourself, with your body, you can begin to create that peace. That's one of the biggest things that we do in the Body Love Bootcamp. It's really about creating that foundation, creating the foundation for peace, opening up a dialogue between you and your body, getting you to tap into yourself. What do you want? What do you need? What are you feeling? And although a lot of this stuff can be really scary, I totally get it, especially if it's something that you have been running away from for most of your life. If you don't do it, it will always follow you. Whether you face this when you're 20 or 25 or 30 or 50 or 70, it will follow you until you face it. You cannot run from this forever. If you really truly hate yourself, if you really truly hate your body, if you're really stuck and in a really dark place, you cannot run away from this. And by creating that foundation, by just beginning to tune in with yourself, with who you are, with what you're feeling and what you really want, that really can be a beautiful beginning. It can open a hell of a lot of doors. It really can. So a perfect example of this is Black Friday. So Black Friday has just passed. It's mostly in the States, but a lot of the world has started to take part in this, where there's giant sales and prices are slashed. And like, how many people do you think went out and literally spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on Black Friday buying stuff? Clothes, new TVs, new laptops, new things. Did any of that stuff buy them actual happiness? Maybe, temporarily. But what if you took that same money that you were so excited to spend on a new TV and you invested it in actually creating a foundation for happiness? You invested it in yourself and creating a foundation within yourself of loving yourself. Like, isn't that so much more valuable than a damn TV that you're going to hang on the wall? Really? For me it is. For me it's not even a question. So if you find yourself trying to buy happiness, I really just want to ask you that. Like, what is happiness really worth? And are you ready to start looking at it? Are you ready to start facing your demons? Are you ready to start facing this discomfort, this fear? So your task for today is a simple journal prompt. So I want you to grab your journal and write this down. How would learning to love your body and love yourself make you happier? It's a pretty simple question, but it's a big question. How would learning to love your body and learning to love yourself make you happier? And I believe if you actually take that and you really dig in, get curious about it, set aside a few minutes, sit down with your journal and really truly ask that question and dig in, you'll have some juicy stuff come up. You will. I have answered that exact question many times in my own journal. You get some good stuff. Trust me. So I'm going to leave that with you today. Please do your journaling. You get a hell of a lot out of this. And you're really worth it. You're worth the time. You're worth the energy. Because you deserve to be happy at the end of the day. You really do. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.